And a bit of comedy with folk goes down really well. It's terrific. It's great fun. I mean, what I'm concerned about is how long your rehearsal sessions must take because of the banter that goes on between you all.
Oh, we rehearse the banter, don't we? It's all meticulously scripted. I feel sorry for our secretary who has to write everything up. Yeah. How do you spell meniscus, she says. That's one of my favourite routines, the meniscus routine.
I suppose it's always been about, we've always just enjoyed ourselves from the very first moment we kind of discovered our local folk club, really, and saw like ordinary people just getting up and having a bit of patter before they sang a song. It could be like a really serious, sad song, but they'd always kind of start with like a little joke or a little story or something, and we thought, it just feels so natural to just be yourself. And
you mentioned the folk club, where it sort of all started then. Tell us a bit more about that club, because, it must have something special about it.
Yeah, it was Stockton Folk Club, and by the time we discovered it in 2003, it had been going for over 40 years, and every Monday night, and yeah, it was just a complete revelation to us to find like a community of people who were singing songs, often unaccompanied, often about places that we knew. They were singing about the Northeast in Northeast accents, and we didn't know that was a thing. We hadn't heard any songs like that. So it was a real kind of revelation, and because they were so warm and welcoming, and everyone was able to sing, it was so accessible. You could get up and you were encouraged, even if you forgot the words halfway through, or even if you burped because you were too drunk. It was just, and then people,
that's exactly what we were.
And then people applauded you at the end, and
belching.
Did that actually help?
Oh yeah, so every week.
Now, your voices map together beautifully, and I mean the harmonies are terrific. Was that just pure coincidence, or has that come through sort of years of practice?
It came through a lot of time spent together. In those first few years, it was very much the first discovery of folk music, but it also coincided with our discovery of alcohol as well, and the two things go hand in hand, really. Hand in pint, as I was but hand in pint. We don't stick your hand in the pint. We all have our interesting ways of drinking the things. That's what I learned to do. I should get a cup in my hand and then drink it like that. But so it all went part and parcel, really. And then when we first went up, we didn't know how to sing or anything like that, because everyone was so encouraging. They just kept telling us, "Oh, you're absolutely brilliant." And then we listened back to a recording and realised we weren't. But we just kept trying, and eventually the voices melded together.
Now, you do the comedy.
We do, haven't we?
Do you ever get these guys heckling?
Do we get Michael? Who heckling?
These guys.
me and Michael heckling David. Oh well.
I mean, they are part of the band. They're allowed to talk.
I'm thinking about when you're doing the comedy solos.
Oh, when he does his comedy gigs. Oh, no, we don't go up with his comedy gigs.
No. We don't like each other in real life. We're just here for the commercial appeal of unaccompanied folk singing.
No, it's all, I say the banter and the comedy go so well with the folk, and the seriousness of the folk songs that you sing. I mean, do you pick songs which have got sort of tragic stories to them?
Yeah, but they come from a place of positivity as well, often, don't they? They're a celebration of people's lives, and often it comes from a place of adversity, but we're inspired by the way that people have dealt with that and the positive things people have done, I suppose.
Yeah, so what's the sort of biggest gig, best gig that you've ever done?
Oh, it's a good. I mean,
Beardy Folk Festival 2022.
That was scripted in.
Well done to our secretary there.
we've been so fortunate to perform well all over the world and to many different events and festivals, and I suppose it's the kind of unique ones that we remember and kind of cherish. And there was one time we did a concert in a tiny church in Orkney, and there was only about 7 people there. It was part of an Orkney festival, and the acoustics were just gorgeous, and we often kind of talk about that afternoon concert. In terms of like biggest gigs, I suppose we've been
Like
at
Glastonbury
Cambridge Festival and Glastonbury, and they were special as well. But it's always the kind of audience interaction that we kind of cherish more than anything, and that's why, like tonight at Beardy, even though the weather was abysmal and we all had our coats on stage, we knew that the people in the field watching were with us all the way. And
actually, it felt really intimate, didn't it? Because, and probably because everyone wanted to be dry, but it felt really intimate because often outside gigs, I don't often really like outside gigs because you can't hear anything coming back, but that wasn't the case tonight. Everyone was really loud.
There was a huge warmth in the crowd there.
They weren't clapping because they were holding umbrellas and waterproofs, but they made
That's
up
the
for
reason we
that
give.
no, but they made up for it by shouting louder and
Get off,
and
they shouted.
Well, you got an encore as well, so it must have gone down really well. They did. It was a wonderful atmosphere.
No, thank you.
Anyway, I wish you all the best. What's the next project? Very next project?
Working on a new record, going to be released February to March 2023, and some touring around that as well.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for chatting to me. Thank you.